Hello YouTube, I got this Pokémon Stadium 2 for the Nintendo 64 on eBay for parts. Actually, it's a longer story than that. Let's get into it. So this was part of a 4-item slot that I purchased for 120, and when I got it finally, I tested on the console. Let's see what happened. So game inserted into the Nintendo 64 that I modded, and there's nothing. No signal, only a black screen. Let's see what we got when we open it. So to disassemble this beautiful cartridge, you see it's in great condition actually. This was the main reason why I actually purchased that lot. It was a great deal, 120 for Pokémon Stadium 1, Pokémon Stadium 2, Pokémon Snap, plus a transfer pack. So now that we disassembled that part, let's remove these two screws, Phillips screws on this part of the cartridge. Easy money, easy here. And now this is easy to take away. Now we can finally see the board. Let's get it out of the cartridge so we can have a closer look. This game was the main reason why I purchased that lot because, you know, Pokémon Stadium goes from around $60 to $100 depending on condition. This one is in really good condition, so it might go for $100, but for some reason it's not working, so let's check it out. I can see there's a line here above the pins. Oh, yep, they're definitely broken. You can see that line. Probably somebody forced it too much into a console, breaking it. And you can see the wiggles if you apply minor force. So to fix this, after a couple days, I got this. The Japanese version that you can purchase for around 10 bucks, you know, $8 plus shipping. They use the same board, and what we will need to do is to pretty much swap like we did in our video that I will leave a small link to it around for our Dragon Warrior that we fixed on a previous video. So let's start disassembling the Japanese copy of the game. Just look at that, a Pichu sticker. Once we have the board, you can see it's the same type of board that we have on the English version of the game. We will need to swap all the 4 chips. I'm actually not sure if you need to swap the 4 of them, but for sake of doing this video, I'm gonna swap the 4 of them, and let's see if that fixes the issue. I decided to go through this route just because, you know, if I could connect the pins with the connection that was broken. But I think that if I'm planning to sell this, the owner will pretty much break it again in the near future, and I don't want that. So you know, every time that he puts or that person puts the game into the console, it will create movement, eventually will break it again. To do this repair, we will need to remove the solder from each one of the pins. I put some tape, as you could see before, with a little mark with a J for Japan or Japanese on this game, so I don't mix chips and boards. So let's start by heating and removing the solder with our desoldering pump. I think this is called. This is the cheapest you can get. It's like a 10-buck soldering remover. It takes a while and it will strengthen your thumb a lot. So you can see I put some flux and then I go one by one. I will do this, you know, on the video. I will edit it to make it faster because I don't want you to get bored. So let's get to that. Sorry for the poor focus of my camera. After all of that has been taken away, you will have a board like this. Now we will use our hot air station or rework station, as you prefer to call it, to heat the pads. Of course, we have to add a little bit of flux to each of the pins before doing this. Now we'll start to heat. I'm doing this with my hand. I don't recommend doing that. You will see that I will burn myself a couple times. What I do is I grab it and then I pull it with little to medium force to take it away off the board. Keep hitting it. I also put some insulation tape on top so I don't accidentally remove the top part that is on top of the pins that I'm hitting. Too hot, but still not moving. You have to do this in a circular way. You have to continuously move around your hot air gun to heat the chip entirely. As you can see, I continue to apply heat directly to the board, trying to move around the hot air gun and wiggling the chip with my hands. I saw a little bit of movement in one of those pulls, so I'll get my tweezers, get them close. I cannot insert them below the chip, so I'll continue to move it just to create a gap between the chip and the board. Oh, it moved. As you can see, it finally came out. It's still hanging from the other side, so I'll just continue to heat it. And here we go, the first one. Now we have to do this with the other 3 chips. Remember, this is the Japanese version of the game. Is the same board, just different chips. So now I'm using my tool to push it a little bit between, just by inserting it into the between the board and the chip to create a gap, so I can use my tweezers to remove it. Let's do the same with the next one. Applying some flux. Heat it. Now we have to take advantage that the board is already hot, and this will speed up the process a lot more. So let's get it hotter. And as you can see, it moves. Sorry for the poor focus. And now we got it with the tweezers. Last but not least, again, and with the hot air gun, and try to do some movement, circular movement. And now I will start using my tool to push it like I said before. More flux. You can see how the flux immediately starts melting, I guess, because how hot the board is, and without removing the hot air gun, I will continue to get it hotter. So eventually I will move it with my tool and then remove it with my tweezers. Some of them already came out, but not all of them. A little bit more here and there. I'm looking at the pins right now on the board, and one of them, the middle one, is really dirty. So finally, we removed the 4 chips. This is what we get. This is our donor board. Looks very good. It's a little bit full of flux, but this will be our new board for this game. Now we'll give it the clean of its life. A lot of IPA, cotton swabs, a toothbrush, everything to remove all residues of flux. And this is the board that we are removing, the original board from the game, the American version, that we are going to remove the chips just because it's broken. And like I said, it's, for me, it's not worth it to try to sell it. Maybe if it was for me, I will keep it like it is, try to fix the traces, but I'm trying to sell this on eBay, so makes no sense to sell something that eventually will break. So like I already did this for you. I'm gonna do this faster on the video edition so you can see again the process. I don't know, let me know in the comments, but for me this was peak Pokemon. Just the content that the game had, all the possibilities it opened. It was also a great challenge if you wanted to beat round 2 on the game. It was very challenging. You have to bring your best Pokemon, probably train them specifically for the challenge. I don't know. Also the animation on the battles, seeing your Pokemon for the first time on 3D, the shiny version of Pokemon. I don't know. It was just too cool for me. The mini games. It was a lot of content for a single game. Now you want to enjoy this kind of content on a video game, you have to pay $70 for the game plus 30 to $50 for extra DLC. So now we'll start removing the chips that we're going to install in the other board. Again, I'm going to do this 6 times faster than usual. It took me around 3 hours to complete this whole process. So same drill, we heat it, we prime it with the tool, and then we create a gap and remove it with tweezers. And this is the board, the broken board, now with no chips. I don't need to clean this. This is, as much as I love this game, unfortunately, this is trash. I also wanted to mention that I love to keep my workstation clean. That I sent a message to the seller and I said to him, because on the original listing he was selling this as a working lot. So I mentioned to him that Pokemon Stadium 2, which is the most expensive game of the lot, was not working, and he kindly reimbursed me $25. So I ended up paying $95 for this whole set, which is a great deal in my opinion. So now we're gonna go and put the chips in place. I took a photo before removing the chips from the original board, and just to know every single position of all of them. What I noticed is that all the letters, if you look straight to the board, all the letters on the chips are facing down. And now let's enjoy this ASMR. For me, this is visual ASMR, just soldering each one of the legs into place. I love it. This is the part of the hobby that I love the most. I mentioned before, I'm not an expert. I really enjoy doing all of this, saving these games that bring me great memories from my childhood with my siblings, playing hours and hours, during the summer. I don't know, great times. I love, you know, thinking that somebody's gonna get this game and enjoy it as much as I did when I was a kid. So I leave you enjoy this visual ASMR. Just like that. Heat with the tip of the iron and then touch with the solder just a little bit, and that's enough to keep it in place and with a good connection. I will also take the time to put new solder into the connection for the resistors and all the components and the capacitor on the board. And this is how it should look after the first 2 chips are installed. So let's put the other 2. For this one, I bent a little, one of those little legs. I bent it a little bit when I was removing it. So I just move it again to back to its original position. And let's solder the corners so it gets into position. I push it a little bit while hitting, so it's all the way inserted into position. And again, watch this beautiful soldering job. Now let me see if every single one of the um, legs has good connection and reinforce them. If not, let's inspect the board. Looks good. I think we might use some more here and here and here. Final touches. Looks good, I think. A little bit more here. And now again, after I made sure that everything has a good connection, let's give it again the cleaning of its life. Also cleaning the pins, like I mentioned before, one of them, the middle one was looking dirty. So now let's apply some deoxit to clean it way more, and that it will also help improve the connectivity of these pins. Let's do that for the other side as well. Apply a couple drops on it, and like the instructions on the deoxit bottle say, you only need a fine layer for it to work properly. So now let's spill it a little bit with the cotton swab. I think that's good enough. So at the end of this whole process, you should have something like this. You see the chips, the letters are facing down on the four of them. So now let's put it back together. Goes like this. Sorry for my big hand not allowing you to see, but I'm putting the plastic piece in place. Now the plate, you have to push it first from the top part, like this. Then bottom part. And then we will put the screws, the Phillips screws, back in place, the two of them. Super fast, so I don't waste your time. Close it carefully and put the two screws from the outside back in place. One here and one here. Super fast, boom, boom. And this is how it looks after all of this work. Look at this beautiful copy. The label is in incredible shape, in my opinion. So now, finally, let's test it. Moment of truth. Put it into the console. And look at that. We have the Nintendo 64 and the scissor. Perfect. Now let's see if the controls work. It's in English, as you can see. So perfect. We saved this game. I'm going to try to list it and sell it on eBay for around $90. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this content, please subscribe. See you in the next one.